Welcome to My Degree is Black TV. I am the co-founder of My Degree is Black, Jamie Latin Sims. We got a great show for you tonight. I got my partner in the building as well.
What's happening, people? How y'all feeling? Look at this. This is beautiful. Look at all this melanin popping. Woo! Bro, we at 16 already. Y'all know Jamie gonna get on here if we don't get to the numbers so we can do the electric slide. He been trying to get there.
Let me tell you something. Who has ever been the first one to a party? Whether it's a baby doll party, whatever school you went to. Have you ever been the first one to the party?
No. I was the first one to the party, y'all.
Unless you throw in the party, you ain't the first one. You walk right back out. So we got 13 people viewing us live right now. We want you guys to tell us where you're from, what school you went to, who you represent, who you get supporting. Let us know that right now. But since 13 people here, that's enough people to do. We can do the bunny hop. When we get to 20, we can probably do the electric slide. When we get to 30, we can start the wobble. And when the wobble starts, that's when the whole party starts. However old you are, it's only gone. It's only so we good to go. But hey, we got a lot of guests today, so let's get down to business. John, first and foremost, tell them who we are and why we're here.
Most def. So we are My Degree is Black, and our goal is to change the narratives that are associated with the negative narratives and stigmas that are associated with HBCUs by telling y'all stories and celebrating our culture, right? The only people that can tell you about the HBCU experience are the people that have gone to HBCUs. And you wonderful people are absolutely game changers. So if anybody was to talk about our beloved prestigious when you bougie and you made a lot of money, that's what the rich people say, prestigious institutions would be you wonderful, melanated, beautiful, brilliant Black folks right here.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to them folks there, and then those who are on the line. One person on the line, I want to shout out Don Mosley. I think she actually shared one of our posts on IG today. So shout out to Virginia Union University. It's in the building. You know what I'm saying? We are representing for the HBCU. So appreciate you tuning in, Don. Tell your friends and family about it. Get in right now because we got some talking to do. But before we get to too much talking, I got some questions to see if y'all started this HBCU stuff to just make some money or y'all in it to win it. Like, I want to know how grounded you are. So tell me the first celebrity you saw wearing HBCU gear and about what year that was.
Ooh, for me, probably when I was about 5 that I can remember. I'm a product of 2 HBCUs, so as the young, I mean, that's all I know in my family. We all went to HBCUs, so listen, I've been in it before I knew I was in it.
But see, I can tell you it's a gremlin because my question was, who was the first celebrity wear HBCU gear? You over here just want to take the
same. Actually, I am the first celebrity. Let's just keep it 100 now. Don't get it twisted now.
Here we go.
Come on.
Here we go.
I told you I was going to have to kick out by 3 times.
Don't do my friend like that.
How many strikes does she get? I want to know. So somebody else who wants to let me know who was the first.
I think the first celebrity I saw was the cast on 227.
Oh,
227. I think
that's good.
He used to always have HBCU gear on, but I always saw him with a Southern sweatshirt on a lot of them.
Oh Lord.
No.
The diva got something to say. What's the diva got to say?
Okay, so I'm gonna say my first celebrities were off Hillman, but that's another question, that's another conversation. But the first time I saw a true celebrity was Aaliyah, and she was rocking, I hate to say it, a Southern sweatshirt.
There you go. Everybody know what it is.
Hold on, it's PV all day though. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Now y'all know y'all saw Will Smith wear that gremlin stuff all the time on Fresh Prince.
But that was after
you had your turn. And you want to talk about when you was 5 years old.
I'm telling you, I was the first celebrity I knew.
I hear you. Latrice, what you got for me?
I think the first celebrity was when I would watch the Cosby Show. And, even though he's fallen from grace, Bill Cosby was always rocking HBCU sweatshirts and stuff. So, I mean, I I don't think I ever saw mine up there. I don't know why, but that's when I saw a lot of HBCU gear with celebrities, and then Martin too. Martin used to rock it all.
You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, somebody said Moesha when Frank was wearing the Southern. Wait a minute. How many? You invited your whole school up in here, huh?
Hey man, you know SU come hard. We say
Oh my
we
God.
everywhere. They don't call it Jag Nation for nothing.
I hear you.
Here we go.
What about the Townsends? Who was the first celebrity? Who y'all think that y'all saw?
Man, I'm gonna have to say maybe.
If you say Chris Paul, I know you're doing this for the money.
Chris Paul. I'm looking for the brand though. Celebrity was when I was watching. I'm gonna say, yeah, you can Cosby and Martin on the real. I remember that like, and then different worlds. Sometimes they had on stuff too. Did yeah. So that would be my play.
Okay. All right. Cool. If anybody, any of our live guests is watching, we at 24. We electric slide now. We good. I'm feeling good about this. It's about to be a party of me. It's already a party, so it's good to know. Good to have y'all here. I remember living single too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
Like,
she's the rocket.
That was the first thing that came to mind for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jalen from Southern. Shout out to Greer from Graham. Shout out to Genesis from BCU. You know, like, appreciate y'all coming through. Don from Virginia. We come back to you. Some good stuff. Thank y'all for showing up to the party.
Yeah. For real. Well, now that the ice has been broken, not that it needs to be broken, because listen, y'all should have been here on the pre-show because they was acting up, y'all. But we definitely want to introduce them the right way. And my grandfather once said the best way that you can introduce somebody is let them introduce themselves. So we are going to start our segment of Raised and Made. Raised and Made is just pretty much where were you raised, where were you born, where you grew up, stuff like that. There might be somebody on here that has a cousin, niece, nephew that went to the high school you went to. So shout out your high school. And then where were you made? That should be self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? Where were you made, and let us know who you represent. And then we'll go through that. So can we we're gonna start the other way. We're gonna start with the Townsends, and then go pretty much counterclockwise.
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So I'm Naima here, and I was born and raised in Tyler, Texas. John Tyler was the high school I went to, so shout out to East Texas.
All right, then I'm Brandon Townsend, Texas represent Funky Town. Name County Eastern Hill High School. So that's what it is. And that's what it's gonna be.
All right, what were y'all made?
You said what were we made? At PBAMU, baby.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't know because I know there was LSU back there.
Yeah, hold on. You see it on my. Yeah. That's it. So and then hold on. Hold on.
Here you go.
Yeah, that's the cue. That's the cue.
Hey, you keep showing all that stuff. We're gonna give away all that for free on the show. You have to agree to it. So come on, Derica. Tell us what you was raised and made.
All right, so I am Derica the Diva. As you can see, the co-owner of Exclusively HBCU, and I am from the heroic and historic Huntsville, Texas. Shout out to all the Billside people out there. Y'all might not know about that. And I was made at the prestigious and productive Prairie View A&M University. PV, you know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and Derica, what we do at Prairie View?
Oh, I mean, we do a lot of things, but in what context? Because, it depends. Hold on.
You ready? Wait, hold on. I'm going to ask again. You ready? I'm going to bring you in, and then I'm going to put you back out.
I'm ready.
What we do at Prairie View?
Well, at Prairie View, PV produces productive people. I mean, look at me. Look at my people in here. There it is.
Okay. I just want to put it out there. You got me cleaned up. That's my word. Oh, man. DeFron.
What's up, man?
Tell us, where you raised and made?
Man, the Front Five. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Attended Jehovah Jireh Christian Academy. I was made actually. I'm gonna keep it real in Wiley College. That's where I
Hey,
got my first start at home of the great debate. And then from there, I went on, and then I eventually ended up at Southern. Got my degree there, so here I am. I'm the owner of the Anthony Lawrence Collection.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
that's what's up. Okay, Renisha,
You know the
All
one
rules.
right.
one
You know
minute.
what we asking
My,
you, right?
I'm not gonna say y'all be hating, Lord, y'all be hating. Anyway, my name is Renisha Robinson. I'm actually the owner of Line Sisters Greeks and More and the CEO of RT Sports Entertainment Firm. I am born and raised in Houston, Texas. I
Hey,
was made at Grambling State University, the place where everybody is somebody. See?
Come
To
on.
the point.
go on. First time I heard somebody say Gremlin, and they say world fame.
Well, we don't have to say what's already understood.
There we go.
Just
And,
saying.
yeah, Latrice, what you got for it?
So I'm Latrice, and I am the owner of Rated HBCU. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, the Show Me State. Hey.
Come on.
And what else? I went to the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University.
Oh,
Come on. The illustrious.
boom. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's
I gotta
what's up.
represent for the East Coast today.
You know.
Y'all
on.
Southern people, y'all taking me over, so I gotta represent for the East Coast. HBCU.
Man, y'all got these people in here. Joe Holman, PV, Danielle, PV, Lakivia, Southern. Who is this? That's Derek. They saying hey. See, there we go. Courtney from Southern. Who y'all look? Oh, she back with Jack. Look, okay now. Y'all doing too
Man,
much.
y'all might as well. Y'all will be naming Southern all day, man. We take over stuff like this.
Here we
Hold
go.
on.
Not if we put you out.
That's what y'all do.
We got some Aggie pride there. Come on, represent.
Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, you know what? You know why I like North Carolina A&T and y'all being the Aggies? Because anytime in Texas somebody mention the Aggies, I be like, who y'all talking about? North Carolina A&T?
Listen, they was like,
I don't be talking about no Texas A&M.
I'm like, nah, y'all got the wrong colors. It's blue
I
and
was
gold.
like, maroon and who?
Right.
So anyway, man, let's get to it, man. We want to make sure that people know who you guys are. I kind of joked around and said, are you in it for the money or are you in it for really pushing the culture? And we know that you guys are. We've been following you guys for a minute, even before we were My Degree is Black. So we appreciate you all coming on. You all, my wife don't want to turn off her laptop, but anyway,
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
listen, John said that we live, so we just be yourself. This is a conversation. This is an interview. It's not an interview. We're just having fun, right? But getting back to what I was saying, that I remember seeing all those celebrities wearing those shirts. I remember going to King's Flea Market off MLK,
Yes.
and they having like the Morehouse short set and everything. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
there was a lot of Duke in North Carolina, but I remember seeing that, and my dad was like, "Nah, you buying that one." And so I wanted to know, what was you guys' inspiration for doing what you're doing now? Yeah, let us know what your inspiration was. I think the people need to know that because that's important. What you say, John, about your why? If you don't know your why, you won't go too far, huh?
Exactly. Married to why? So why you out here putting us on your back? You know what I'm saying?
Let's start with Latrice this time.
Well, I started my company because after I had my son, he's 7 years old now. I was like, I want him to know about HBCUs, and there wasn't a children's book about North Carolina A&T. And so my whole family is HBCU. We all went to different ones. So I got him other children's book, but that was the real reason. That was the number one reason. And then the number two reason was when I went to the bookstore, I was like, why don't see no black-owned companies in here? How's this HBCU? And there's no black-owned or HBCU-owned companies in here. That's a problem. So those are my reasons for why I started this, because, you know, we go there, we get enriched there, we get taught there. Then after it's full circle, I don't see us represented in one of the biggest aspects of the school, which is the bookstore and apparel. So That's why I started.
Awesome.
Hey,
So we're gonna go backwards, Renisha.
Okay. So, to be honest, the reason why I started my company because I have a Greek store. So I have I sell the D9, and then in Houston back in the day, it used to be so many Greek stores, and then it just was like they were a thing of the past. You couldn't find them anywhere. So that's what I always wanted to open a Greek store, but it really came to fruition when my daughter crossed Delta. Shout out to the Deltas. My daughter crossed Delta, and I could not find in Greek paraphernalia anywhere. So I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and start my own store. And then I am blessed. Of course, I went to HBCU, so I definitely have HBCU paraphernalia and, of course, Black empowerment paraphernalia. So my store is completely all Black everything. So that's how I started my store.
Most definitely. Shout out to Renisha too. We'd be remiss if we didn't say this was our first retailer, first brick and mortar to carry My Degree is Black apparel.
Yay!
So we appreciate you.
Yay!
We appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank
And
you. I
I'm glad
appreciate
you
y'all.
did that because we're gonna get back to that and talk about strategic partnerships and not crabs in the bucket mentality because y'all all show love, and so that's why we got you on here. Anybody else that wasn't showing love, that's why they're not on here right now. But
Damien is not playing today. That boy is savage.
I'm in my bag today, bro.
You are clearly all the way in that joint.
Talk that talk.
Oh man.
The front.
Man, I always had the Anthony Lawrence collection. It's always been a brand way before I started to go to HBCU route. But what made me go to HBCU route, I was running an LSU store, and I just saw everything in there, and I was thinking to myself, man, I don't see this for HBCUs, like the stuff that Nike and stuff would make for them. Like, and I always had the inside track to that stuff, and I just thought to myself, man, why not give this to my people? And so that's when I just reached out and researched the licenses and everything, and I just took it from there.
That's
Cool,
what's up.
man.
That's what's up. Y'all heard that inside track with Nike and all of that. That flex.
Slight flex.
Derek.
Yeah. So I am the co-owner of Exclusively HBCU. Shout out to Danielle, my business partner and line sister. She's in the comments. So the reason why we started this company, I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and my aunt gifted me the Ivy box one day, and I was like, I know that there's something like this for HBCUs, and there wasn't. When we left Prairie View, it was hard to get Prairie View things even like 2 miles outside of Prairie View. Mm-hmm. So we knew if we had this issue, there were plenty of other people that did. So we started the first quarterly HBCU subscription box on the market made by HBCU alums for HBCU alums. And we wanted to start it so we can just have representation in the subscription box space, and also so we can make sure that we were giving back scholarships to those people and those students who need it the most.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's great.
Come on, Townsend. Go ahead. These boys here.
Oh man, can y'all hear me? The mic is better now.
Yeah, you got a little echo, but we'll work with it. Come on.
All right, so
there you go.
All right, so first and foremost, everything I gotta give I gotta give Naima some credit. Like she came up with the idea, but it's called PBA, you know, right? And she was always talking about dropping the shirt for PV because truth be told, when I was at PV, I had zero right there, zero shirts. And when we started the business or whatever, we was like, hey, like we had all these good ideas that were better than a bookstore. But in the beginning, like when we were students, we didn't have the money to put the ideas out. So our whole platform is cooperative economics. Y'all always hear me talking about that. But what the play is like we let the students, alumni, other people design the product. We put the bread behind it and we put it out. So my biggest thing is like each one teach one. If we can empower somebody else, that's the play that we want to make. And so that's how it got started. Oh, and in addition to that, you know, when you're a student at TV, sometimes you broke, right? And so we teaching some of the students like you don't necessarily need money to make money. What you need is a good idea and somebody that has the resources. And so we've become resources for those people that might not have the money but have the ideas like we were. Because we had ideas but no bread. And so you hear me talking a lot about that. So we actually putting papados and salt grass in the belly of the students. You hear me? They
That's
gotta
what's
eat,
up.
right? Why pizza hut? You can be a Papa John's too if you got to get the deal.
I'm with it.
So you
I'm with
said
it.
they don't have to
Right.
use their meal points at KFC.
There,
They can go ahead
oh,
and go to Papa Do's if they work for luxury goods company.
there you go. True story. True
All
story.
right, all right. You bring up a good point. I do want to segue there because we talked about it for a little while. Let's talk about your experience as a HBCU company. Let's talk about your experience as a creative. And we out of our 2 years in existence, we're more of a movement than we are an apparel brand. The apparel's to push the movement so we can have interviews like this. Um, and so we've only been hated on one time. And so we really haven't experienced the crabs in the bucket, but the one time we did, they went hard in the paint. They got these. Listen, I say the lawyers say I can't talk too much about it, but
Mine too.
but they went in. And but for the most part, we found that we do better when we work with individuals and conglomerates like yourself. Can you guys speak to your experience as a company and any infringement on your creativity, how your solutions on that? Because you have business owners in the comments that want to hear about how you handle some of the journeys. Now, remember, you only got a little while. I know I'm talking for a long time. Think about it so you can get your best story together, right? So,
Oh Lord.
I know. Oh, child.
Come back over.
Hey man, repeat the question again though. Like what part you want us to answer?
I just tell us about your journey as a business owner and what challenges you've come against when it comes to either strategic partnership or either infringement on your creativity.
Deals gone bad. People stealing your stuff.
All right, I think my journey is it's just always been a journey, and I like to take that on. But the biggest thing is, and I feel that, and it's just maybe me, like as an HBCU brand, we have allowed people to water down our version of the brand so much to like is when we come with a high quality product, they look at us different. Like,
Say that.
why can't nobody on this platform have the same product as Nike, has the same product as Adidas? If you put a swoosh on some of the stuff that we create, they're gonna charge you 10 times more. But when we charge, I'm just gonna give you for example, I make quality shorts just like Just Done. The same quality, the same people. But because of my price and because of who I am, I'm looked at funny, and I get all kind of DMs on why I charge this much. And the first thing I tell them is order a pair, and you'll tell me I'm charging you too less. That's the confidence I have in my product, and I think everybody on this platform have a great product. I think we sell ourselves short because we feel we're gonna turn people away by our price point, and we shouldn't be like that. And it's just I don't know when that happened, but I really do think we have allowed people to water down our version so much. We so used to going to games and on game days, buying the $5 and $10 shirts from other people that's not licensed, till when they come up to somebody like myself or rated HBCU or anybody else, and you say $25 for a T-shirt, the first thing they say is $25 for a T-shirt. Well, if you go to the bookstore and it's got Nike on it, you're gonna pay 45.
Say that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Good
it's just,
stuff.
I
Good
mean, and
stuff.
I've
Good
been
stuff.
doing
Yeah.
this, and I've been doing this for so long. Like I've ran for a lot, because like I say, I was the first African American to run an LSU store, so I know what these people are paying for these products. And it's not like I'm saying that we need to charge that, but we got to stop looking at ourselves and downgrading our work and our quality of work because that's not something they used to. Get used to it. Like it's a new age. We here now. We here to take back what we have created.
Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Mm, so
And
true.
to that old boy,
Anybody else? Tell us about them experiences.
Well, I'll go. Listen, having a storefront is, oh my God. We have a signature design. If you part of this D9, or if you just know Line Sisters Greeks and more, you know our signature shirts. And I have so many people, like, it's like I had a soror from DC call me. It was like, hey, somebody on here trying to sell your signature, and I'm like, what? And they blocked me so I couldn't see it on the page. But I have so many people that know our signature brand. They just call me and let me know. So you got to get the lawyers involved. You got to do a cease and desist letter. I mean, it's just a lot. So I have had that before. It's everybody, and no disrespect to people, but everybody have these cricket machines now. So if they see something, they snap a picture of it and they think they can go home and recreate it. It's a lot, because we licensed for this stuff. We in this game. It's not just to make a shirt. When people tell me, oh, you a shirt company? No, I'm not. I own a full Greek apparel store. I have a full Greek store. So you have to, I don't know. You just have to let them know. I have it's so many. It's just too much to tell.
Yeah. I'm glad you bring that up, though. I'm gonna say this, and I still want you all to continue telling your stories. But the piece that you just said, right? That last piece, you're licensed for it, right? So when people steal our designs, not only are they stealing from us, but they're stealing from our universities, because they're not paying royalties. They ain't paying nothing back to the university, so the university isn't getting anything for the money that they make, that somebody else is making. And I think that that's a disservice. I think when Jay and I were first looking at like the apparel side of the industry, you're talking a $9 billion, like the apparel industry for colleges is $9 billion, and HBCUs are making up less than 1%. Like, we don't make no money in that, my institutions, and part of it is because of that theft. Boys are stealing, robbing.
And don't know it.
Man,
somebody done stole my stuff.
What if 80% of the people who resell HBCU stuff had licenses? Think about what that would do for our university.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the money that would put in the sports space, like the budgets. Like, we could really.
But anyway, right? So, who next? Who want to talk about it?
I go next. We'll go next. No, for sure.
Oh, yeah, basically to piggyback off what you said, we have our own brand as well. So we've been sent several photos where someone tried to recreate, our logos or our shirts. One of them is the shirt I have on. It's actually a Pipla shirt, and they tried to recreate it. And it's pretty much the same thing. Everybody just recreating, what you've already put out.
Yeah, and so so we came out with the brand, right? And so we were on the screen preview, and then this lady pop up with a glitter shirt on and say, We're like, what is this? And then we was laughing because she was like at homecoming or whatever, and it was a V-neck. We hadn't even put no V-neck house yet. So we were laughing. We were like, whatever. And I see it all the time. And then just recently, I saw a dude standing with his kids. So the mom and the kid had on the shirt, and the dad had on one, but it wasn't our brand. It didn't have a bird on it, and the font was wrong. And we started laughing. We was like, he's trying to get fit in, but like, how I come at it is like this. It's we try to protect ourselves, but at the same time, I look at it like no matter what you're doing, God gotta bless it. So it's like, if you can really take something that belongs to me, I'm a gift wrap it and hand it to you. That's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, we good. But that's funny though. When we see stuff like that, now we just laugh.
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing something right.
That's true.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah.
Absolutely. We just had somebody tag us in a knockoff shirt. Today. But publicity is publicity, right? Like, it's putting it out there. People gonna still look for it. And so that puts on us an importance to protect our brands, but to ensure that our stuff goes out branded. Right. So when you see it, you see us in whatever capacity, whether that's in the tag, whether that's on the sleeve, whether that's on the bottom, whether that's on the back, whatever that is. Like, you know, you got it from us. And shout out to all of the people that say that black people don't support black people, because none of us would be in business if it wasn't for black people. One, all of the things that we've experienced with people taking whatever it is, like the way we find out is from all of the black people that support us. You know, be ready to go flip over tables like Jesus in the temple because somebody got something, you know, like, and that's HBCU love. Like,
it is.
I love that.
Yeah. It is. I'd like to step into this conversation because this one, child. So with us being the first one to do what we're doing, and shout out to, and Danielle just said woo child in the comments. Shout out to Malik Juice, our creative director. So shout out to him. But being the first to step into the subscription box space, or just the box space, we've had a lot of people that have come out with random boxes, or or just try to stop our brand because they don't want us to be in business at all doing HBCU boxes when they do something completely different outside of HBCUs. So having those lawyers on deck is always a great thing. And also, like, we call our customers, we call them cousins. So our cousins, they go hard for us. Like, they put a stop to the madness most of the time before we even have to see it. So being the first, I'll just say for us is really hard, just because, people always are coming for you and, taking a little bit of your idea and trying to sprinkle it over here and do this. But I mean, you just got to stay 10 toes down and just keep it moving, because what's for you is for you. Like somebody just said that, it's going to work out. And it's been a blessing just to be in this space. And almost everybody in here, we know and we've tried to work with or collab with and have a relationship with. So it's all love in the end.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Latrice, you good? You want to share anything? You all right? You seem like your temp.
You see why I'm laughing, Latrice?
I don't want you to open it up.
Well, I started the HBCU-ish shirts. So if you probably seen one, it's probably not mine. Because everybody stole it, and it was out of my ignorance. I didn't think it was going to blow up how it did. And so I probably should have immediately trademarked it. By the time I tried to trademark it, it became like trying to tissue. They were like, the USPTO was like, it's a generic term at this point. Even though you started it first, it's generic. Unless you basically make it into a different brand, we can't do anything for you. And so that was my biggest lesson. Even if you don't think something's gonna be hot, go ahead, get that legal stuff in order. So if it blows up, you're not looking crazy. And kind of like she said, I have those people who ride or die for me. They'll send me DMs and like, is this yours? I'll be like, girl, that's not mine. Or they'll get it and they'll be like, if somebody tags them in a picture because they had on 2 products, they'll be like, is this yours? I'm like, nope. They like, I'm not reposting it. So I will say my customers are like the best. So that is one lesson I've learned. Get your legal stuff. You got to get in order, because people are going to try and steal your stuff. And it's nothing you can do about it. They're just going to try and do it. And a lot of people honestly don't think nothing is wrong with it. I had a girl message me and say, can I take your design and make it myself? Why would I sell it? Why would I sell it if I just want to sell you the graphic or give you the graphic? And the good part of this is what I have seen being in this HBCU apparel community. Like, we all have love for each other. Like, exclusively HBCU and AO collection. Like, we talk like, I told him today, I said, we play cousins at this point. So we talk like, if he sees something wrong, like he said, you need to watermark your shirts so people can't just. So the love I get from other HBCU owners, and it's not no competition at all. Like, I'll tell anybody, my stuff may not be for everybody. If you don't like my stuff, buy from one of them. But I'd rather you buy from one of them than buy something unlicensed or buy from somebody who does not care about our schools. So I'll rep them and be like, hey, go look for him. Because his AO collection, them shorts he got out right now, they are fire. Yeah. So yeah, so that's been my business experience so far. But I love it. I love the customers. The best is when you get older customers And now sometimes they get carried away, but they want to sit and talk about the HBCU experiences. But it makes you know you're doing the right thing.
That's true.
Can I say something just to piggyback off what she said? So we had a box and it was called HBCU-ish, right? That was our theme for the box. I called her personally. Well, I sent you an email, I think, and I was like, hey, is it okay if we use this like terminology for this box so we can put it out there? Because I just respect her brand so much. Like we weren't putting her shirt in there. We tried to put your shirt in there, but it just didn't work out. So like I just think having that respect for one another is so important, because if she would have told me no, we would have scrapped the whole project and would have started all over. Yeah. So thank you, sis.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think that's it too. Somebody had wrote in their write-up, we asked you guys questions before you come on the show, and just what is it about HBCs that you love? And even though, you know, we might fight with like brothers and sisters or whatever, but for the most part, we still show love. Like you can't talk about my brother and my sister. I can, but you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So we have each other back. Like you said, the cousins, like it's for real. Like once you meet someone, like that's your first fraternity, that's your first sorority before you pledge anything, I believe. You know?
Absolutely.
So John, did you have anything? If not, I want to just ask about their experiences.
No, go ahead. That's where I wanted to go to.
Okay. So with that, let us know, you know, tell us about your HBCU experience and why it impacted you so much for you to even start a brand like this. It had to impact you, anything you love. So let us know what was that HBCU experience like for you, because we want others to know what that was too.
So I would say, people always ask, did they brainwash y'all at Grambling? People always say that because they was like, how y'all talk about this Grambling all day, every day. You know, my experience was, I went to Grambling very young. You know, my experience was amazing. But don't get it twisted, because you have good days and you have bad days. My major was biology. So my classes wasn't a cakewalk. I hate when people say, oh, you went to HBCU, oh, you didn't get a good education, or blase, blase. I worked hard, and listen, Dr. Jordan and them wasn't playing no games. Dr. Dorsey and Miss Anderson wasn't playing no games. So I earned that degree. And I had a good time at Grambling. I grew up at Grambling. I went to Grambling at 16. Let me just be honest. I rarely tell people, but I grew up at Grambling. So, you know, life lessons, just understanding more of who I am, understanding how not to be crabs in a bucket, you know, how to, don't get it, you know, they had at Grambling, but we still learned how to be a family. And that's what I got out of Grambling, and just appreciate it to this day. If you don't know nothing about me, the two things you know is I went to Grambling State and I'm a Delta. If you don't know nothing else, because that is who I am. That's my culture. So
Nisha, can you add on and let the people know what you said you earned a degree, and I believe you did. Where'd you get it in, and what did you do before you started your
okay
company?
So I actually have a few degrees. So my first degree, and the reason why I got the rest of them, was of course from Grambling State, and my major was biology pre-med. And I actually didn't go to med school and end up teaching. And I taught biology, I taught chemistry, and I taught integrated physics and chemistry for about 15 years before I got into this world of entrepreneurship with HBCU apparel and Black empowerment and sorority and fraternity apparel. So then I have a master's degree from Texas Southern, and then I have another master's degree from Prairie View. So the master's degree in Texas Southern is in biology, and then I have a master's degree in community development from Prairie View. So all of my degrees are Black.
Come on.
Oh, say that one more time.
All of my degrees are Black.
Oh, mic drop.
All right.
Well, I'll talk about my HBCU experience. My whole family went to HBCUs. It started with my mama. She went to Harris Stowe in St. Louis. I went to A&T. My siblings went to Tuskegee, Hampton, and Xavier. My mama said, you got 100 choices, choose one. That's it. You choose one of those. And I think the best thing that I learned at my HBCU was, number one, if you're somewhere, you're there for a reason. Don't ever think you're not supposed to be at a table just because you're the only one. You're there not because you're Black, but because you have the intelligence and the knowledge to be there. And I think too, just because I'm a CPA by trade, my degree was in accounting. I have a master's in accounting from UVA. Then I have what I call my 1/3 life crisis. I quit my job and went to fashion school at Savannah College for Art and Design. But A&T is my heart. Like, I don't even talk about those other schools because I feel like A&T gave me that sense of comfort before I went into the world and I became the only one in most rooms. And just the love I think that professors give you, they actually care. Like, they care. Why you not in this class? Why you didn't come to class today, Sister Collins? Or I think you need to take this class. Like, even now to this day, when I go back to homecoming, I still go talk to those professors and they remember me. Wow. My friends, it has given me lifelong friends. Like, I sit back because I graduated in 2001, and I'm like, we've been knowing each other 20-something years. Like, I'm seeing my friends graduate from high school and go to college, and you're like, I knew you when your mama was pregnant. And so just family, because I've never lived by my family since I graduated from high school, because my parents live in Minneapolis now. So I've mostly lived in North Carolina and Texas. I have never worried about my biological family not being around, because my HBCU family too, just in general, supports me like no other. So I think that is what I got from going to HBCU, like that community, that support. And like you said before, look, we might rival with each other, but when it comes to us in general, we don't play games and we got each other's back. So
that's right.
I got a question. Because this is what everybody want to know. This is the real question they want to know, Latrice.
What?
Is North Carolina A&T homecoming really, is it really the greatest homecoming?
It is the greatest homecoming on earth. G-Ho, really? You know?
Okay, I just...
Now, I have been to other homecomings. I have been to...
Now, what tread lightly?
Wait. I'm saying, I have went... I'm not comparing, but I'm saying I've done Grambling's homecoming. I enjoyed myself. I'm not saying that. I went to Grambling's homecoming. I've been to Howard's homecoming before. You know, Howard think theirs is pretty lit too, but they're in DC. But I'm just saying, A&T got the greatest homecoming on earth.
Thank you.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah, I do have a nice homecoming.
Yeah,
I have a nice homecoming. I will say that.
I do.
So I have a question for y'all. If you could sum up the way that you felt the first time you stepped on the yard, freshman year, first time on the yard, if you could sum that up into one sentence, like, what would that be?
First time I stepped on the HBCU yard as a freshman, it was amazing. It was just different.
Just different, okay.
I would say I was terrified. I grew up in a predominantly white town, so I wanted the Black experience, and when I went there, I got it. And at that time, it was a Houston versus Dallas, Shags, leather pants. I was like, what are these people doing? I don't understand. They angry, they happy, they hungry. What's going on, people? But after the first week, that turned into pure joy. So,
oh, Lord.
I remember the leather pants. Don't act like y'all don't remember that era.
We off the experience part. We done with the experience.
Yeah, I was happy to be around people that look like me. That was my plan. I was over doing.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
I agree.
That was...
I was really overjoyed because I'm from a university school, but it was more Hispanic and white people. So to go to a school versus nobody but Black people, yeah, that was right up my
I'm gonna get y'all volume going out a little bit, but we good.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Nah, it's kind of
a little
bad.
bit.
It's okay, because I went to TV. I'll do closed caption for you. You know, with one of these other people, I ain't come out the studio already.
Hey, look at this comment right here. It's like all the sentences need to have the word illustrious in them.
Facts.
That's
Facts.
For sure.
No, that's
I
right.
love it. I love it.
He not lying.
No.
But not the Frank, you said whether you want to answer that question or even talking about your experience, that still goes into your experience stepping up on there. So if you want to share something about
Yeah, I
that
mean,
as
my
well, please
experience,
do,
I
man.
mean, it started like when I was small, like just going to the games. Our godbrother at the time, he played for Southern, but at that time, man, I was a big Alcorn fan because it was Steve McNair.
Mm-hmm.
And back then,
Yeah.
man, I remember going to one of those games, and I actually snuck on the field with a high school teammate of mine, and we was holding the card for ESPN. That's when ESPN came down to Lorna. And man, after that experience, I was like, wow, like it was just different. Like the electricity there, and then being from Baton Rouge, going to all the Southern home games, walking around, it was just very different, man. At those times, like you didn't want to do nothing else but be at Mumford Stadium on Saturday nights.
I felt like I was at home when I went to my freshman year. I guess because, like I said earlier, when I got cut off, hint, hint. But, but like my mom went to Prairie View and my dad went to Texas Southern. So I grew up honestly at PV. You know, I was at PV at every homecoming, every whatever they had. My mom was there. You know, when you get like 12, you don't want to hang with your mom. So my god sister went there. So I started hanging with her. So literally when I got on Grambling State campus, I felt right at home because that's all I know, you know. So and plus my mama was taking me down there for like the homecoming. So I thought I really knew what was going on when I was a freshman.
So you rebelled against your parents, which is what you're saying.
Actually, no. I actually considered Prairie View, and then now we'll talk about the band because I was watching Bayou Classic one day, and I told my mom, "Oh my God, that band is live! I'm going to Grambling." She said, "Girl, you don't even play in the band." I said, "I don't care. That's where I want to be." So she was like, "Well, what's up on that biology department?" I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "You better do your research." And the rest is history. The rest is history.
What you made up for by getting your master's from both of those universities. That's crazy love for your parents, right?
Yeah, so that was definitely a tribute to my parents. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's dope.
Latrice, tell us a little bit more about your experience of your first day and all that feeling of Wakanda-ish going on.
So my parents made me move to Minneapolis when I was a junior in high school. So let me just put this picture out. St. Louis, Minneapolis. Y'all know those are two totally different demographics. So I was the only Black person in my graduating class from high school. So when I got to A&T, I was like, whoo, Black people again. So I was really excited to be at A&T because I was like, I get to see Black people all day again. I love it.
That's good.
Awesome. I did the wrong thing. My bad. We're trying to do too much. John, you got anything else for our guests?
Oh yeah, so I got a whole lot.
Come on, well, I'm letting you come.
Let's get it.
Now you Lord. See, John usually come on here, and I had to change my name. That's probably why he gave me the lead. Like my name is Jamie Latin Sims, but when I changed it to J. Lee Adrian, it would let me lead the show. If I don't do that, you would think I'm not even a partner.
Dang.
You see, it's what you deal with. This is what you deal with. No, like so. What I am interested in knowing, and everybody doesn't have to answer this, but if you feel so led to, definitely do. Like what would you graduate in, right? Like the day after you graduated, you walked off campus, like that person compared to this 18-year-old that just walked on the yard you were just talking about. What's the difference? Like who is he or she? And how is he or she different from when you first walked on the yard?
Man, it's just, I mean, you're a completely different person because you've been like sculpted and molded by all these people. And I know we talk about HBCUs being Black, but they're also diverse with Blackness, So I just think when I left, PV taught me how to hustle. PV taught me the art of having a hustle, knowing how to sell products, knowing how to sell to people, the psychology of people, and then just like, learning the art of people, your people. So when I left, I had the confidence like, yeah, I'm the next Bill Gates. Who was Bill Gates? Yeah, I got that. So, and if it wasn't for PV, honestly, I wouldn't have that because I was so scared when I got there to just try all these things that I had in my head. And once I saw everybody else doing it, I was like, well, now if that crazy fool can do it, I know I can do it. So,
right.
Facts.
Yes, definitely facts.
That's what's up.
Definitely facts.
Love it.
That is funny. I think the Renisha today is definitely different, just more well-rounded. And when you talk about just different things, and because in Houston big. So when I got to Grambling, I got to understand people from New York, people from California, people from Chicago. I got to learn their music, their style, and it allowed me to be able to relate to all type of people, just not the people in your area. So it definitely makes you real very well-rounded, and then that definitely helps with your business because you know how to handle all type of people and in different aspects, and you know how to adapt to people to make them feel comfortable at all times. So
I think for me, y'all can hear me now.
Yeah, that boy got volume.
Yeah, we're projecting. Toastmasters in this boy. I was gonna say for me, for sure, I know I'm more empathetic, right? When I came from Fort Worth, I mean, boys fighting everything. And it was just like in PV, like people pull you to the side, like what, like why y'all acting like this, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, we in college, we can do some stuff. And then so I think when I got to PV, there's a lot of good people around me that peers, friends that pushed me in the right direction. Got me through that electrical engineering program. I got to be a rocket scientist with Jamie in for a little while. But empathy and compassion is what I really, really learned. Like it's not dog eat dog. It's like we need to help each other and cultivate. That's what I really learned.
That's good.
I love that.
I think for me, when I first entered Wiley, when I got to Wiley, I wouldn't say I was antisocial, but I wouldn't really talk with people that I didn't know. I mean, I was in the sports and it was either that class and I was back in my room. And after I transferred from Wiley and after I got my degree at another school, when I returned back home to go to Southern, it really opened my eyes and it showed me that you could be you. You know what I mean? Like it allowed me to be who DeFron really is. It opened up my eyes to see everybody different and not to let people put the stigmatism on you whether you can do this and you can do that. Like I think the best thing happened to me was enrolling in Southern after to get my master's and to continue my education. It just taught me a whole lot, like from communicating with people, from making the right decisions, and different things like that.
That's what's up. Whoever got folks going in and out, this is a live broadcast. Whoever's talking in your background, this is a live broadcast.
I knew it.
Tell them people to get out that room. This is a live broadcast. Okay? Don't be messing up our professional. You see, we had a whole intro banner going. And you was the late one. How you gonna be the late one and then cause all this ruckus?
I mean, it's a 7-year-old. I don't get no pays.
I feel you.
Hey, let me tell you how much this is a live broadcast. My wife's sitting across from me talking about they stuff really nice. She going on all y'all website. So now I gotta wait for my paycheck to come in tomorrow and go spend some money. So everybody just in the comments, all 24 y'all right now, y'all make sure y'all go on them people's websites. All y'all say if they don't have an increase, after that, they're gonna try to charge us for coming on our show.
Never.
By the time,
I ain't gonna be the only one spending money tonight.
that is funny.
But hey, with that, so for me, one of the reasons I believe that apparel also brings awareness. How how much of that is in your vision of knowing that somebody might see this and ask the question about what's that school? Like when it comes to creating something, you don't have to tell us the secret sauce. I'm not asking for that, but what goes into your creative process of just putting something out? Because let me tell you something, we done seen some stuff put out. It's not good. Like I think you brought it on, like
Jamian is coming with all that today.
I love it.
Listen,
Me too. I'm here
now,
for
you
it.
know, let me go back to John. One reason it's good to have a partner is because we don't drink our own. He's not going to always drink my Kool-Aid, and I'm not going to always drink his. And so I believe because of how we bump heads sometimes, we're able to come out with a product that's amazing. And so I just want to know, that's our creative process, just continue to bounce stuff back and forth off of each other until we both can agree on it. What about you guys? How does that look? Because you represent your institution and other institutions too, your cousins, right? So what does it look like for you guys?
For me, it's, everybody has their own gifts. So shout out to my line sister, Lunita, we call her D, because she does all the graphics for Line Sisters, Greeks, and more. Now I'll call her, we'll talk, and I'll be like, hey, what you think about blase, and then she just makes it come to life. So, your talents. Listen, my talent is the business side, and she handles all the graphics. So she definitely is that creative one. So I send her some stuff, with Gremlin. I'm looking like, wait a minute, hold on. But, we get it all the way together, and she's amazing at her gift and her talent. So she definitely does all the graphics and make sure Line Sisters, Greeks, and more stay looking right and stay in compliance. Because, it's stuff you can and cannot do.
And there's one thing I will say about Renisha. If nothing more, she gonna make sure she is within whatever guidelines it's supposed to be for the university.
That's right.
She don't play with that.
I don't.
I think for the Anthony Lawrence collection, I just
the front, speak up for us a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I think for the Anthony Lawrence collection, it's just I've been blessed with the relationships that I built before I decided to do the HBCU stuff, to where when I get ready to design something for the schools, I typically just start with my school, which is Southern, and then they give me the feedback, and I know I value those people's feedback from what they tell me, with what they know from the apparel business, and then I just go from there. But I mean, you just have to trust your gut feeling. You have to go with what you think people will like, and sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, because if you think just because one or two people like it, that don't mean when I put it out and get it produced, it may sit for 2 or 3 years. Then you stuck with a bunch of product that your homeboy felt that looked good, and now you stuck with it.
Yeah, in our case, we work with students, and I'm talking about they brutal. We're gonna tell you it's trash. Like, as a matter of fact, hold on, with the HBCU box, we used to work. I don't know if you know, but we used to work with you, Malik, right? When he was a student, and he helped us with some stuff, and we still be in contact. But I was laughing one time. He had this panther on his shirt that we dropped. And then his buddy, I think it's another guy's name, JD, that Juice will hang around. These are two students now, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I like the design. It looked vintage. He was just asking what I think, but I'm 41. And then his partner walked in. He was like, bro, your panther look friendly, bro. And everybody just bust out laughing. He was like, that's not a Prairie View Panther, but like I get to see that wrongness. And so like in our case, we let them go in on each other, and then whatever the general consensus is, that's the one we drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And just Daphne had asked, can we drop the links? Every time they talk, we'll be putting the links across the bottom of the screen, but we'll also start putting them in the comments for you as well, so you can have them. So you'll just see them on the bottom of the screen as well.
That's what's up. Yeah, somebody singing, playing, doing something.
Somebody kid or something. I hear it.
Now, if y'all know,
Matter of fact, what's
They are hollers.
that's
I know y'all don't hear them kids.
Don't have no kids.
In your house.
Ain't no kids here.
Me neither.
Is your son out there playing?
Hold on, you can hear them kids up there?
Yes. Yes.
Now I'm kicking you out the studio. Your mic.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we can hear them. You can hear them.
They're loud.
Loud.
Oh my God.
I don't believe in whooping kids, but now look, you come open up my show. It's gonna be a problem.
He said you muted.
They were loud though.
They were. Yeah, funny.
That's good. I have a question with regard to the move to entrepreneurship, right? I know for some of us, like, and I don't know how many of y'all, and you can speak to this if you want or not. How many of y'all are operating full time, and working, right? I'm all about letting a 9-to-5 pay for a 5-to-9, and getting multiple checks. A 9-to-5 is just an additional stream of revenue. Let that be heard. But so we all have degrees in something, right? And then we moved at some point from there that transition into entrepreneurship, not just apparel, right? Because all of you have successful businesses and not just a brand. So I want to know more about like that process. Like, what was that thing that was like, yo, entrepreneurship is the route that I'm going to take?
Yeah, I'd like to start off with that. So growing up where I grew up around the Mexican culture a lot. Like my best friend growing up was from Mexico. She was Mexican. And I just recognized the hustle and the that culture always talking about starting businesses, owning something, doing something. So and then I grew up around Africans too. So like I just grew up with people around me that were always doing business. And I recognized within ownership, there was power. You know, I'm a follower of Master P, Jay Prince, Nipsey. So I just believe when you own something, you can control the narrative. And once I can control the narrative of my life, then that's when the power comes, because I can basically, I don't have to work for money. I can actually like work and control my time. So that was always my goal when it came to entrepreneurship or anything. I just wanted to have control of my time and control the narrative of what my life story and would be, and then to create generational wealth from the jump. That was it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely.
I'm with it. More black dollars, the more black people.
Come on.
Somebody put that on the shirt.
That don't follow our brand, but I'm gonna let somebody take it.
My slogan ain't good enough. Derek gotta go. Bye.
No, that's not it. Listen, I stay in my lane, y'all. If it's not HBCU, I'm like, here, somebody take it and go make some money.
Stay in your lane. I know that's right, friend. You gotta stay in your lane. When you start doing 100 different things, it start getting watered down. Do what you know. Do what you're good at. Especially speaking about, entrepreneurship. Everybody want to do 3,000 things. Find what works for you, and that's what you do. Being an entrepreneur, people be like, "Oh, that seems like that's easy." That's not easy. We work. Oh, I was about to cuss. We work hard. We work for ourselves, but we work hard. It's an amazing feeling because you are on your own time, and everything you do, you giving it back to yourself, your business, your company. But it's not easy. We work hard. We really do. I started making cakes when I was 5 years old and selling them to my family members. So I guess I always had the entrepreneur spirit. My dad was an engineer. My mom was a social worker. But when they retired, my dad started his own carpet cleaning business. And that's who taught me how, hey, this is how you do such and such business wise. And then I started event planning business when I was in college, just planning events and stuff like that. So I started young, but it's still you'll develop over time, because having a storefront, that is a whole different ball game. I'm serious about that. It's a whole different ball game. It's when you, especially during this pandemic, when you got to pay your house note and the shop, that ain't no joke. So just making sure you just stay grounded and know how to manage, know how to manage and understand the business concept, basically.
Right.
Renisha, you did a whole bunch of stuff when you was 5. That's my information.
Listen, them the times I remember when I was 5, I was rolling, okay? I started rolling early. Listen.
I follow up? I know everybody hasn't had a chance to answer, but I'm curious to know, and if you have an answer, you want to include this in your answer, feel more than free to. Like, how did your HBCU experience prepare you for the resiliency, the love, the late nights, like all of those things that encompass being an entrepreneur, right? Like, and running, like being a business owner, right? Like, how did your experience at your HBCU prepare you for that?
This is probably not going to be a popular answer. It didn't. It's a whole nother level besides staying up to study for an exam or something like that. Like, it's it taught me basic concepts. So like I said, I'm a CPA by trade. So it prepared me financially to learn how to run my business and even gave me some marketing tips. But the mental stress, I don't think anything, not even having a kid, prepared me for the mental stress of running a business. It's just on another level. It just, because you got to keep yourself going when nobody else is, when you have those days when nobody buys a shirt or a product and you're like, why am I doing this? Or when you're sitting up looking at 4 o'clock in the morning, try to figure out why this post or this email isn't working. Like, that tenacity that you have to have and faith in yourself. Like, I think it just builds over time for me. It has just built over time. So
thank you for sharing that, though. Absolutely. Now, I will say that, I went to PV, and PV produced productive people. So I was prepared productive people. So maybe
That's right. I learned that when I was 5 also.
Amen.
That's weird. I'm putting myself out.
Hey, you remember? I was talking about the Cosbys. Remember when Rudy turned 5? Yay, 5. That's the
yes, I used to love that. I remember that too.
I'm about to be steady. I'm gonna let y'all wait. Anybody else though? Like, is there something that you've taken from your HBCU experience that's really helped you in this realm of business ownership?
Oh wait, man, selling snacks, selling CDs out the room. That's how we was getting gas money. I think learning like teamwork make the dream work, right? Like now we don't have any employees. We more have like people who want to learn business, and then we bring them in and we teach them what we know, and so they can grow and learn something we don't know, and then come back. And I say I got that from PV because when I was at PV, I remember there's a guy named Mike. Put the disclaimer in there. Mike showed me how to burn CDs. I didn't know anything about burning CDs, and coincidentally, that's why boys didn't have to have no part-time job, thanks to burning CDs. So, yeah, they got me back at home to Fort Worth, plenty of gas, plenty of food. But yeah, it's like that. You learn stuff from other people. So, I think what I learned from PV was teamwork make the dream work. Even on all those tests and all that stuff, we was gonna make a way.
Love it.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Grandma taught me how to multitask efficiently. Because, I learned I was taking between 18, 19, 20, my last semester, I think I took 21 hours. So it taught me how to go to class. I was in the dorm when I was in the dorm, permanent people had me like a whole, so it taught me how to be able to multitask and do stuff and still be around it, because you can multitask and still have all else, you know what I'm saying? So it taught me how I'm just saying, it taught me how to multitask efficiently. So I will say that.
Hey,
Southern just taught me to do
my
the
bad.
best
Go ahead,
and be the best. Southern taught me to just do the best and be the best. That's it.
And flex.
Yeah.
like you did with that first
Flex.
person and that second. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
But when you say that about doing the best and being the best, that somebody brought up earlier about the professors that wouldn't let you come in late, or they saw the greatness in you. And so like I truly believe that. Like we always encourage each other to be the best. So that's awesome that you guys talk about that. I actually forgot my other question because I was saying that stuff. I'm gonna let that one go. John, you got something else before
Yeah,
we
I want to know how many of y'all got kids?
We just put them all out too. You know, that's the
Thank you. I appreciate it because I don't want to have to put you out. It was either you or the kids. But no, so like Brandon, you and Naima, y'all are like the perfect example of this. There's no time that we see you and we don't see your son. There's no time that we don't see your business and your son is not a part of it. So my question is, how many of the rest of you are using y'all kids for slave labor? Which y'all business?
That's a business write-off.
He's an intern.
But the influence and the impact that you've seen by being able to expose your children to this, all your nephews or nieces, or little cousins or kids in the neighborhood, like, what has that been like?
For me, man, it's been great. Like I never knew my niece was watching. Like I would take her. She would come to a few games, but my nephews, they stayed. They want to come to the games. They start off wanting to help, but as it closer get to the game, their help drifts off to something else. You know what I mean? But my niece, man, she started her own brand, which is called Net Needles, and it really shocked me. Like she didn't ask for no help. I just read on social media one day she had her own brand, and that I was one of the inspirations behind it.
That's
So
good.
that just let me know, like, dang, I gotta watch what I'm doing. Is somebody's watching, like people's watching, and my nephews, I know they watching. They may not want to do clothing, but some kind of other entrepreneurship may come out of the whole deal. So it's been fun ride for me. Like I can't even before the pandemic hit, them dudes had already had to schedule out what games they was gonna work. They had already planned they was going to Florida. I'm like, man, it costs to go to Florida, dog. So I mean, for me, man, it's been a blessing, man. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to what else come from it.
That's what's up.
And my son, I'm a single parent. His dad lives in North Carolina, so he just had to get in the business because you got to go where mama go. You don't have a choice. So he's seen it from when it started. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to just sit and read a book to a kid to teach them. Show them by actions. And it's so interesting how he picks up on stuff. And I'm like, Wendy, he was like, well, I heard you talking about it. So one day he asked me, did you trademark such and such? I said, you 7. What you talking about? But he listens to my conversations, or like he'll be like, oh, did you go to the shop today? Or he's learning by seeing me do. And he's even started his own company. And it was the only thing that I will say, and I have guilt about it, but I have to work through it because I am a single parent and I work a full-time job too, is the time. Because you only got so much time in a day. And so that's another even reason why I try to make my business fun for him too, because that's part of our quality time, me running my business. And that's why I include him, like even on social media. We did a runway video one time where we just put on the clothes and show people how we wore them. And he was like, Mom, that was so much fun. So I also try to include him as I make him as much as part of the brand as I can, because he feels like it's his company too. And so people know him. They be like, how my little cousin doing? So people know him, and it makes him feel like, and he'll tell me, Mom, this is our business. And one day he asked me, and I was like, why are you thinking about this? He's talking about, Mom, so if you die, he said, who gonna make the t-shirts? I was like, Christian, like, it's too early to worry about it.
You're killing me off.
But he was like, serious. And I was like, out there right now.
That boy was talking exit strategy already. Like, Mama, do you have a plan? What's the contingency?
Hey, Latrice, I want to tell you now, give you your flowers while you're living before your son kill you off. I want to tell you that you were inspiration for me. You made a social media post about him being the head or director of some department for the business, and I was like, ooh. So I got 3 kids. I gave them all a head. Only one of them still working for me now, though. The rest is slave labor. The other one actually owns their position. The other ones, they was like, oh, I'm the head of women's apparel, and I ain't seen no women apparel yet.
That's how I go.
Thank you for at least letting me know to include your children, making it fun for them. Brent, the Townsends too, you guys do that very well. So I just want to let you know, like DeFron said, people are watching. They might not be younger than you. They might be your peers. So just know that people, I mean, that's why we still got a constant over 20 people watching live. And I don't know if we've had that before, other than like for the judges and the other shows. So like you guys are an inspiration.
Absolutely. We have a question down here by Genesis. I'm gonna post it now. Before I post it, and y'all long-winded Southern Baptist preachers get to talking. I would like everybody to answer because I think there's a ton of valuable information here. But sum it up in like a sentence or two first, so we can get through it. And then if you want to go deeper, then you can. Okay. So Genesis Davis asks, "What's the best advice you can give to someone who wants to start a business but needs a bit of guidance?"
I say do research on the business that you're trying to start. Before you do anything, before you print, before you do anything, research that business, research the demographics, research your competitors and everybody else before you even do anything with the business. Like, don't even tell nobody you're playing. Just research it first.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I say go find somebody who's already in that business and volunteer to help. Ask, can you help so that you can learn? And nobody's gonna turn that away.
Good, man. You getting some good stuff. I wish somebody would have told me this.
I would also say research, but I also say, be in compliance. Be a real business. Get your DBA, get your LLC, get everything you need to have in order to be a true business. Get a bank account. So me, I'm always the one that's make sure everybody is in compliance.
Yes. Good. Come on, cousins, what y'all got?
I think for me, find business groups on Facebook. Like, that's how I got started with everything I know. Find business groups on Facebook that, are related to something that you want to do. And use YouTube University. It really works. So that's my advice.
Yeah.
I would say turn your passion into your paycheck, but also recognize the art of networking and reaching out and forming relationships with people that can help you not only now, but in the future.
Yes, that's true. And make sure you love it. Don't just do it just to make money. Make sure it's something you are passionate about. We always want to make a quick dollar, but if you're not passionate and your heart not in it, it won't last. You have to be passionate about what you do, because when your passion comes out, then your work definitely succeed. So just make sure you're passionate about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know you were part of the host, but can you share something too, brother? You don't like to brag on yourself, but my partner is a double major.
Yes, he is. That's my friend. Come on.
And if it wasn't for him, I would have gave up on my business. So can you give us 1 or 2 sentences, please?
Okay.
Oh, man. All right. So the 2 things that I would tell you, right? See, I just jumped right into it. I was ready. I was thinking in my head. Thank you for that layup. You know what I'm saying? For the alley-oop. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. And I'm going to put myself in the big screen. No, so I tell you 2 things. I think the first is marry your why. Whatever the reason why. Like, I don't really care about the what behind it. I don't care what you're doing or where it's going, who it's going to, when it's getting there. But the why around it will never change. And that's the piece that gets you up in the morning. That's the piece that keeps you pushing when somebody has stolen your stuff and they making more money on your stolen stuff than you making on the stuff that's yours. When suppliers don't come through when you think you have a hit and it's not there, when your friends told you to go out and do this business, and you did it, and now you can't figure out where you at and what's going on. Like, your why will get you through almost every single thing, right? Like, so marry that why. If you marry that why, all of the other pieces may change, and that's okay, because they need to in order for you to continue to be successful and to make money, right? And I think the second thing, and this kind of sums up some of the things that several of our guests have already said, you wonderful Black people have said, is if it's such a good idea, I say this to everybody, if it's such a good idea, why hasn't anybody else done it? Because what I can guarantee you is that you are not the first person to come up with that idea. Now, you may be the first person to execute it, and you might be the first person to put it out there, but you aren't the first person that's come up with the idea. And so if it's such a good idea, why hasn't anybody done it, right? So that's the front to your point, your research, right? And if they have, were they successful or did they fail, and why not, right? And that's Brandon, to your point, right? Like, so that research piece, going to work with somebody else, like one of the things I just did a think tank earlier today, and the thing that I asked the lady, I was like, hey, look, send me links to all of the businesses that already do this and what you want to model your business after. I'm gonna say this last piece, and then I'm off my soapbox. Like, one of the things that I want to say, I'm in my bag now. I got to tell you, because this is important, right? Like, one of the things that we as Black people do, we want to explode the bar. Like, the bar be set here, we trying to get way up here, but you don't have to. One, as a small business, you don't have the capital to buy in bulk, so your price point have to go up there with your quality. Yeah. And then you priced outside of the market, so ain't nobody buying from you because you priced outside of the market, right? And I ain't saying you got to be at the base, right? But you don't have to shoot all the way up there when you first start, right? Like, it's okay to like get a quality piece, and to put it out there and to see where it goes, right? Like, you got a proof concept before you go dumping all of your money, all of your time, all of those things into something. Like, proof the content, proof the concept first. Like proof it. And you only need 1 degree of difference. There you go. When you ask the rest, you better know it. Look, 1 degree of difference. That's it. Now I'm gonna say Coca-Cola is red, Pepsi blue, Coca-Cola cursive, Pepsi print, Coca-Cola classic, Pepsi is the now generation. It's always changing. Both of them are sodas. Both billion-dollar companies. Pepsi came after Coke, and all they did was do the opposite of what they were already, what somebody was already doing. Right? Like, so that's it. All right. I ain't gonna say nothing else. And MZMH4L, I'm blocking you and I'm reporting your profile to YouTube. I'm done. That's Jamie's fault. He want to ask me.
You did good. You did good.
You're gonna abide by your own rules.
I make the rules.
Hello.
I'm abide by what y'all say in y'all household. Do as I say, not as I do.
Not as I do.
Look, y'all know the term. You got a Black mama. She can say it.
Right. Oh Lord.
Oh man.
There's other question we might have to do in the after show. If they have time, just to be to respect the time of you guys and also of our audience members. But thank you, Don, for that question. And for those who do stay after, we will answer it, and then we will put some of their answers back out on our social media page. But John, do you have any last, not necessarily questions for them that we needed to get through before we ended the show?
Nope. I see Danielle has already said, can we look forward to a collaboration with everybody? And I think that we can do like a We Are the World type of situation. I have the perfect idea. I'm gonna wait till we get off, because if one of these, if MGMH4L try to take my stuff, I'm coming for you. Okay. But yeah, so that's it, man. Thank y'all for being here. Like, if you tuning in now, you watching this later, like, this is Black royalty here. Like, these are people that's like, it's all love, like 100%. all the time. Nobody's in competition with anybody. We all collaborate. Like we all eating, and it's sun shining on everybody. Like, and I'm just grateful that y'all said yes.
And I'll give you a tidbit too. If these people on this line aren't following another HBCU or Greek, they probably hate us. That's probably why they're not following them. So if they are following those people, then you can go follow them. So shout outs to support Black colleges. A couple more that I reached out to that just wasn't able to make it today. HBCU Culture Shop. So it's a lot of love being shown. So we appreciate the love, cousins. Can I say that, Derica, without you hitting me up?
Come on. Listen, it's okay. Come on, we good.
Yes.
You know, maybe that's what we need, a cousin shirt.
Well, you know,
y'all got one
coming. We can make a box. Look, y'all throw the stuff. We'll make the box. Then come on, we can make it work.
Cousin box.
We can make the shorts. We can make the shorts. Get custom.
Listen, we're gonna holler at you too because we need a new shorts retailer. So, and Renisa, you already know I got a text message scheduled to go to you. So
I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing.
Right on live TV.
Let's get it. I know my boy custom mics.
And Latrice, one day.
We're gonna make it work one day.
And come on, luxury goods. Come on. We're gonna make it work too. Come on, cousins.
We here. We're ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
I talk about Southern all day long, but he actually have some amazing stuff. He makes some nice Gremlin stuff. I gotta give it to you. You make some very nice Gremlin stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Look at all this gassing. I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
John, how much we need back for putting all this together? I just need to know.
Say that again. How much we want?
What's the percentage? What's our agency percentage? Hold
on. I got it.
Oh yeah,
you get a free box.
That's 20%. That's 20%. Now
we got you.
That's 20%.
We'll put your brand on it. How about that?
No, don't put my brand on it.
Y'all breaking up. I can't hear nothing you're saying.
Hey, as that meme would say, Derica, as that meme would say, that box ain't gonna pay my light bill.
Well, listen,
ain't gonna pay.
Honey, let's talk about this wholesale deal. We can make it work.
Come on, wholesale deal.
Listen, it's been super fun with y'all. I can't wait till we able to go out to Bayou Bash or HBCU Fest or Homecomings, so we can see y'all vendoring together and make just have a good time with each other again. So hopefully follow directions and buy a mask from us and you just flatten this curve up. So we appreciate it. We're gonna end here. I'm Jamie Latin Sims. I am co-founder of My Degree is Black. I support, I love to work with my people. I love to work with HBCU alumnus because they create excellence. And my degree is Black.
My name is J. Albert Nichols. I believe in us. I bet it all on us every single time. It's wonderful to be around us and to see us thrive. And we will forever facilitate conversations and spaces for us to do that together. And my degree is Black.
My name is Renishia Robinson, and HBCUs is the pillar of our community, and we have to remember that if we don't pour into our HBCUs, who will? So definitely my degree is Black.
My name is DeFron Fogg, and I'm a firm believer that HBCUs are the epitome of higher education, and my degree is Black.
My name is Latrice Collins, and I am the owner of Rated HBCU, and I believe that HBCUs make America great, and my degree is Black.
I am Derica the Diva, the co-owner of Exclusively HBCU, and HBCUs have changed the trajectory of this world, and my degrees, all of them are Black.